What up, collective, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, for those, if this is your first time listening to me, my name is Paris, aka Elvira, and I'm essentially here to deliver messages from the Most High, from the energy of the truth, from God. I also have a Patreon where you guys can check out the extended version of this reading, and I also have other picker readings on my YouTube channel as well. I'll be doing more content here and on Patreon just to balance things out and yeah, get out that new content. But if you want to follow me on Instagram and check out my podcast, all of those links are below, but I want to get right into it. So, with the collective message that I was getting is I am speaking to a group of starseeds who have been targeted by certain family members and friends, maybe even co-workers, who are now being placed in astral jail. And essentially what that is it's a spiritual prison. They may not be locked up physically, but they are locked up spiritually, mentally, financially, due to the crimes that they have committed against you. See, there is a divine law to everything. So there's something where the divine wants you to know that everything that you went through, especially in the hands of someone who was very abusive towards you, everything that you went through with maybe an abusive, narcissistic, toxic water sign energy, a family member who was not emotionally available, where you found yourself having to take care of yourself. What did I say, y'all? That spiritual jail just hit different. But there was somebody in particular who really tried to destroy your consciousness. They tried to destroy your light. They tried to destroy you from thinking higher about yourself. And this was intentionally done. This was not, oh, oops, I'm sorry. This was a karmic lesson that has been repeating for centuries with you and a certain family member. And you'll know who the family member is because they'll come to mind. You would have had a very rough childhood due to them. Maybe this could even be a lover who you keep repeating the same cycles with, the same lessons. But I feel you guys have risen up. You've awakened. You've maybe moved away from this person or this family situation, or you are in the midst of it. And the divine is saying to practice what you preach when it comes to your emotional boundaries. That is what this lesson was. Because I feel in a past life, for a lot of you, you were a little bit of a pushover. You would let people run all over you. You would let people say all types of things to you. And then you would let things build up and blow up on people. And that's a cycle that you're learning in this life, which I'm sorry for the glare also, guys. I'm trying to make sure I'm not, having it too glared out. But yeah, there was a cycle that kept repeating with somebody, and it ended up taking your life. And due to you having such a high frequency, you have a very big purpose. So you've been targeted from the moment that you stepped onto this planet, onto this realm. And it really hasn't stopped ever since. And a lot of you are exhausted. But the divine is saying do not give up now, because a lot of your enemies are being persecuted for the things that they've done to you in the higher court of divine law. And you will have, maybe some of you have been having dreams of court or going to jail. Maybe some of you have, or jail, thinking about that, hearing that word. That's not because of you or something that you've necessarily done wrong. It's what the divine is trying to let you know. Now, for some of you, there has been a collective of people coming against you and your soul tribe, or someone you're meant to be in a connection with, because they know how powerful you are when you get together. And in general, you and your soul tribe are highly magnetic when it comes to expressing your emotions and getting things done and breaking spiritual language barriers between people. It's like when you come together with this tribe or this person, it's going to be life-changing, life-altering, not just for you, but for everybody involved. And this is why your life has been very, I'm hearing psychotic. Maybe people tried to make you feel psychotic. Maybe you actually started to take medication. Look, because there's something very volatile about your emotional responses due to you not having the proper care growing up and knowing how to properly cleanse your energies and how to properly deal with anger and sadness and depression. So, but this was a direct hit to your consciousness because these enemies who were using these people in your life as puppets to get closer to you, people who are low vibrational, people who refuse to learn things, you end up recycling patterns due to being raised in households where they are unwilling to look at themselves spiritually yet again. But this time it's very different for the Starseed Collective. A lot of us are realizing that we can make people change if we really want to. And I know it sounds crazy. You know how they say you can't change people, but a starseed sure can. Okay? With the power of love, I'm not talking manipulation tactics and strategies. I'm talking about in the way you carry yourself, your demeanor, your presence, the way you allow people to feel open around you, the way you allow strange people to no longer feel strange. There was something the divine was telling me earlier this morning, saying there is no such thing as good and evil. There is only confused and less confused. And I was just sitting on it and I was like, okay. Because that's God just be popping through and telling me some riddles during meditation. But I was like, I'm understanding what you mean. When you encounter a being who knows the idea of oneness and love and wholeness and what it means to truly be connected to God, they don't feel a need to do things that would throw them off of their path or do evil things onto others because they are well aware of the oneness. But when they aren't, they are just confused. They are more confused than the awakened one. So they do things that push them further away from the source so they can learn lessons separately. But with this earthly realm, we've been blended into one melting pot of energies. So a lot of innocence has been corrupted. And I feel some of you have been almost like these fallen angels to your circumstances. Maybe you got led down a path of addiction. Look, maybe you've gotten led down a path of something that wasn't quite like you. And you're asking yourself, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this relationship? How do I get out of attracting this same sort of person? How do I get out of attracting the same sort of scenario? You have to embrace the oneness. You are not confused. When you can start there, you can start breaking this targeting, because targeting only comes from when you are weak in your emotional systems, in your chakra systems. When you're strong in yourself, targeting bounces off your back. When you know how the Most High really feels about you and how loved you are, you don't really feel the need to run away. So I feel the divine is coming through and saying, get closer to me in any way that you feel called to. It starts with an intention. I love to say that the universe is like Siri. You know, you say, universe, can you help me with this? AKA Siri, can you help me with this? And you release it and you visualize that answer being sent to you. The divine is saying start playing around with your starseed abilities. Due to you being higher in vibration than the average human, your calls get answered a lot quicker. And it's not to say that God doesn't answer the calls of people, but when you're at a lower frequency, you have to imagine that message traveling through lower dimensions, trying to get to the higher ones, and it takes a while the lower that you are. Now, there are some circumstances where you can cry for help, SOS, but if you have been repeating cycles intentionally, it takes a long time. It takes a while for that prayer to be answered. And I feel that's exactly what some of the people who have put you through are going through. And it's been making you feel like this is what's happening to you. And I feel like that's why this reading is coming about. You are taking on the karma of somebody that you no longer need to feel sorry for. This is a family member. This is someone who supported you, provided in you. This could also be a long-term commitment that you were in where you feel obligated to this person. They have you like in a stronghold, but it's mainly because you're trying to figure out your emotions versus other people's feelings due to all of the distortion that you faced